Hey guys, I thought since I was on the topic of cutting this map out from that last video, just give you a little rundown on how I'm doing this. So you can see I've got all of it cut out with the 1/8 inch bit, and I've actually went in and cut this kind of stuff where I had to fully pocket it with the 16th inch bit. I've done that. So now what I want to do is go in and bring this tolerance down a little on the state lines, and which will also, that 16th inch bit will, define these corners and these curves, kind of like you can see Alaska here. I ran that around it already, so you can see how that sharpens everything up. And so, I thought a lot about how to do this map, and you could do it all kinds of ways, and people use different software, and some software would be more capable than others, but you could do it different ways, and one of the ways would be to use your drawing program, whatever you're drawing with. In my case, I use Inkscape. I use Inkscape a lot. I love Inkscape. But you could go in there and try. Okay, let's start back. So when I went to go find a file, find a drawing, find a picture, find something to go off online, it was pretty hard to get the clean image that I wanted with clean lines, and and not have to try to convert it in Inkscape. So that was hard, and I finally found one, and so that's what this is. And so now I think that it was a DXF, so it was all defined. But the problem with that is they're all continuous lines that they're connected to each other, and they're not separated out. They can't be because they run into each other. And so you could go into Inkscape and try to find a way to offset these shapes. Just offset the shape away from the line, which there is offsets in Inkscape. And to be honest with you, I tried that at first, and I had no success with it at all. It just didn't work for me. So what I'm doing is, what I decided to do was just use the finish allowance in EstlCam. So in EstlCam, when you choose a finishing allowance, which means it doesn't cut to the line or it cuts over the line, and you don't choose a finishing bit or a finishing tool, you don't define a tool, then it just cuts and leaves that much allowance. So that's what I did. And I'm going to go to the computer here, and you can see now I'm defining these for the 16th inch bit. And you can see I've gone, and what I have to do here is, because like if I choose this automatic detection, and you can see every once in a while it'll kind of pick up a state, but actually you can see that it's not actually right. It's missing part of the bottom there. But most of the time it's going to look something like this, errors because lines are running into each other, and it doesn't know what to do with it, or where to create these lines or these cuts. So all I'm doing is obviously going into manual selection, and just which EstlCam, I've not used anything else, so I don't know much about most cam software, but I know that EstlCam sure makes this easy. This manual selection is so easy, because you can left click to just choose a point, and then you can left click and choose a point anywhere, but you can use this right click, as you've seen me doing there, and you can just drag it along a line, and it'll pick it up to the next possible location, and you just have to right click and it'll fill all that line in. You don't have to go by every individual node and select them. So that's awesome. So here's what I've been doing. All I'm doing is going into this isn't focusing, but I'm going into a finishing allowance, and I'm just putting 0.065 now. My 1/8 inch bit was cut with 0.085 clearance. So, and I'm not pocketing or anything, I'm just going to go around that edge. And I'm putting my toolpath depth to 0.099. The 1/8 inch bit was 0.100, so 100 thousandths. And I'm just, that extra thousandths is just, I just want to avoid just any kind of faint, line on the inside of the state lines, if that makes sense. So I'd rather have it, a thousandths high than a thousandths low. But either way, it really doesn't matter. It's going to be painted down in these states. So anyways, so we'll go ahead. And so And of course, on this, I'm just taking I'll be taking a full depth pass, which is 100 thousandths, actually, technically, 99 thousandths. And then I'm just going to define all these and just let it run. And so I just thought, that might help somebody out there and give someone some tips. So thanks, guys.